morning, students. In last class, we discussed about various key constraints in DBMS. In this class, we will discuss additional keys that are available in DBMS. Okay. So why we are discussing this additional keys means practically we will not implement these keys, but theoretically we will explain important of particular keys. Okay. Okay. So coming to this session, first topic is why we need a key. So keys in DBMS is an attribute or set of attributes which helps you to identify a tuple in a relation. So keys are used to identify a tuple in a relation. Okay, based on we implement these keys on attributes so that we can easily identify a tuple. Okay, if I see here the ID, so we use key constraint or keys on particular employee so that if you implement key constraint or keys in particular employee ID, so that based on this attribute we can identify the particular tuple. For example, if you ask the details of 11 means the 11 will have first name and last name. Okay, for example, in our section, if I ask a roll number called any roll number 1 2 3, so that we can easily identify his details or her details. Okay, based on similarly based on keys we can identify your particular tuple values. Okay, next, keys help you to identify any row of table, any row of data in a table. Already we discussed in a real world application, a table could contain thousands of records. Okay, so that we have, if there is a more number of records means there will be a possibility of duplication of data. If you implement the key constraints, automatically you can identify the particular record. Okay, so that's what here. Moreover, the records could be duplicated. Keys ensure that you can uniquely identify a table record despite these challenges. If you implement the keys, automatically we can identify where the duplication is happening, so that we can reduce the duplication in our relation. Okay, it allows you to establish a relation between and relation between and identify the relation between tables. So previously we discussed the referential constraints. So in referential constraints we can identify the relationship between two tables. So okay, so help you to enforce, identify and integrity in the relationship. So integrity is to identify the duplication, and it allows you communicate between two or more relations in a table. Okay, so this is the table, basic table. So basic table, we apply any particular key on this employee ID based upon whatever your key is given to particular attribute, the data will be followed according to the manner. Okay, right. So they ask employee ID as a primary key so that the data will be uniquely identified. Okay, in this table no other employee can have the same ID. Okay, right. Next, we have various types of keys. See, this is an important. This question asked is either 2 marks or 4 marks. Okay, in short questions only these types of key constraints will ask. 4 marks or 8 marks or 12 marks question means they ask directly key constraints. Okay, next we have 7 different types of keys in DBMS, and each key has its different functionality. So we have how many keys means 7 keys. Among 7 keys, 2 keys are already we discussed. Okay, one and primary key and foreign key. Primary key and foreign key already we discussed. So we have only 5 types of keys. So these 5 types of keys are used in theoretically, not in practically. We cannot write these types of keys in our table, but we can tell to the layman persons about particular these types of keys are available in our DBMS. Okay, first one is super key. We have super key, candidate key, alternate key, compound key, composite key, and surrogate key. Okay, so based first starts with the candidate key. After that, study the super key. After that, alternate key. Next, compound key, composite key, surrogate key. So we will altogether we have 6 keys, right? So we have already 8 keys. Among the 8 keys, 2 are studied. Remaining 6 we will study. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So super key is a group of single or multiple keys which identifies rows in a table. We will discuss one by one. Okay, so that you can easily understand. Okay, first one is you go for the candidate key. Okay, it is a set of attributes that uniquely identify tuples in a table. It is a set of attributes. See, this is a set of attributes. So candidate key is applicable to attributes. So that uniquely identify tuples. Based on set of attributes you applying candidate key means you can identify tuples in a table. So candidate key is a super key with no repeated. So now we will discuss. Okay. First one is candidate key. Okay. See, simple. If instead of telling this one, I will give one information that, for example, you have an employee. So in this employee consists of all these attributes. So unique attributes which are available in our relation, all attributes are considered as candidate keys. Okay, the unique key attributes that are available in a relation, all type of attributes is called as candidate key. For example, see this employee ID, employee name, employee address, passport number, license number, SSN. Among these 6 attributes, employee ID is a unique key attribute. Passport number, unique key attribute. License number, unique key attribute. SSN, unique key attribute. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 unique key attributes. Among 4 key attributes, already we know that in a relation, one attribute is act as a primary key. Okay. So here employee ID is acting as a primary key. So remaining 3 are unique keys. Unique key property attributes are called as candidate keys. Okay, you know, I hope you understand, right? See, this is candidate keys. This is another example. Student ID, roll number, first name, last name, email. Among these, student ID, roll number, email, these are belongs to which command? Candidate keys. Among this one is primary key. We have 3 candidate keys. I hope you are understanding. We have in this table, I have 1, 2, 3 are unique property attributes. Among 3 unique key properties, one is acting as a primary key. So remaining 2 are called as alternate keys. I hope if for this example you can understand 3 keys at a time. So what do you mean by candidate key? What do you mean by primary key? And what do you mean by alternate key? So candidate keys are in a relation. If there are more number of unique key attributes are available, based on unique key attributes, we are retrieving or we are identifying particular tuples in a table. Such attributes are called as candidate keys. Among candidate keys, one is acting as primary key, and remaining attributes are treated as alternative keys. Okay, clear. See, candidate key is a set of attributes. Set of attributes means combination of attributes. Okay, but if you take a informal language, set of attribute means unique key attribute. We can say that it is an attribute. We are not saying unique key attributes. You say that it is a unique key attribute. Okay. So candidate key is a set of attributes that uniquely identify tuples in a table. So candidate key is a super key. So we will discuss now super key with no repeated attributes. So super key is nothing but combination of set of attributes. We can, based on this, we can retrieve the data. Okay. Super key. It is a super key with no repeated attributes. So as you know, the properties of candidate keys, it must contain only unique values. Whatever the values we are inserting in a particular attribute, the value should be unique. Candidate key may have multiple attributes. So already we discussed, we have multiple attributes. Must not contain any null values. We should not insert any null values in our unique attributes. It should contain minimum fields to ensure uniqueness. So already we discussed that, which consists of uniquely identify each record in a table. Okay, I hope you understand. Next, what is a super key? See, uh, if there is a only unique key property of attributes, means that is a candidate key. Okay, student name. For example, if I want a student name, so that I can retrieve student name by means of not name, by means of primary key attribute, so that we get a unique property. If I retrieve based upon name, means there will be a duplication of data. Okay, I hope you understand. So that the combination of attributes to get a data, so that the combination of attributes is called as super key. In super key, the combination of attributes means there is a possibility of duplication of attributes. Candidate key means there is a possibility of only unique key property of attributes. But the super key is nothing but, if you want to retrieve a name, okay, if I want to retrieve a name, you see, this is for this, you see the example. If I want to retrieve a name called as Akan, so Akan is a name, Sikon is a name. If I want to retrieve Akon, okay, if I want to retrieve name by means of name, means I will get two Akon. Instead of this one, I can retrieve by means of student ID. Okay, so the combination of student ID and name, this is called as super key. If I want student ID, name and phone, this Acon will maintain two phone numbers. Okay, and that will also will get. If this person consists of, this is a duplication of data. Even though I want the age of, name and age of Acon. Okay, I want the name and age of Acon, so that Acon is a duplicate data, age is a duplicate data. So I want name and age, so that based upon ID, I can retrieve name and age. So the ID, name and age is called as super key. I hope you understand. So that is what I'm saying. A super key is a group of single or multiple keys. Single means unique key properties. Multiple key means there will be duplicate data which identifies rows in a table. So it is a group of single or multiple keys. So that based on this, we can identify the rows in a table. A super key may have additional attributes that are needed for unique identification. Okay, already we discussed. A super key is not restricted to have any specific number of attributes. There is no restriction. So whatever you are retrieving particular attributes, based upon the attributes, you can retrieve that. If I want name, phone, age, these three I want. So that based on student ID, all these three attributes will be retrieved, even though it is a unique or duplicate. Okay, next. Thus, a super key may consist of any number of attributes. It is a superset of candidate keys. So it is a, already you know that candidate key consists of keys. So I'm a set of a candidate key. A candidate key is a super key, but vice versa is not true. The candidate key is a super key. Okay, if I want, see, this is a candidate is a super key. If I want student ID and phone number, so these two are unique properties. Okay, if I want student ID and phone, so that ID and phone are which attributes? Unique attributes. So that it is a combination of ID and phone, so that it is a candidate key. So a candidate key is a super key. Okay, I am retrieving student ID phone, unique key properties. So it is called as candidate key and super key. But if I want retrieve, but vice versa is not possible. If I want super key, a super key is not a candidate key. Okay, clear? So if you confuse me, I will give an example. Already we discussed. In the table defined above, super key would include student ID, next student ID name and phone, etc. The first one is a pretty simplest as student ID is a unique for every row of data. Hence it can be used to identify each row uniquely. So that the student ID is a unique key property means it is a candidate key and it is a super key. Okay. Next comes ID and name. ID is a unique. Name is not a unique property. So there will be a duplication of data. So now name of two students can be same, but the student ID can't be same. Hence this combination can also be a key. Next, similarly phone number for every student will be unique. Hence again phone can also be a key. So they all are super keys. I hope you understand. Okay. Clear? Next, primary key. Already you know about the primary key, but already you discussed the primary key. But instead of discussing this one, already you know means I am skipping this primary key. Okay. Next, alternate keys. Already you discussed that alternate keys. Among the alternate keys, we already you complete alternate keys. So I think you understand the alternate keys. Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3. These three are unique attributes. These three are candidate keys. Among these three, one is primary key attribute. Remaining two are alternate keys. Okay. Next, non-key attributes means these are non-key attributes. 1, 2. These two are duplicate data, so that there will be no non-key attributes. These two attributes are called as non-key attributes. Non-key attributes are attributes or fields of the table other than candidate key attributes field in a table. So we have three in 5 attributes. We have 3 candidate keys. Remaining 2 are non-key attributes. Non-prime attributes are attributes other than primary key attributes. So we have 4 non-prime attributes. So among 5 attributes, one acting as prime attribute, remaining 4 are non-prime attributes. Non-key attributes means we have 3 key attributes, remaining 2 are non-key attributes. So I hope you understand, right? Next, compound key. Compound key, it has 2 or more attributes that allow you to uniquely recognize a specific record. Okay, we will discuss that one. It is possible that each column may not be unique by itself within the database. However, when combined with the other column or columns, the combination of composite keys become unique. Okay, the purpose of the compound key in database is to uniquely identify. In this example, we will see this example, order number and product ID, order number and product ID. So these two are non-key attributes because this is a duplicate data and this is a duplicate data. Okay, I hope you understand now. So it can't be a primary key as it does not uniquely identify a record. However, a compound key of order ID and product ID could be used as uniquely identified each record. Okay, so if you take these two non-primary key attribute, we can identify a record. Okay, which order was booked based on the product. So based on the product, you can say the order. So based on order, you can retrieve the product. Okay. Okay. If I ask the product ID, automatically you can get the one order number. So that unique particular data or values based on your combination of these attributes, you can easily retrieve the uniquely identify of a tuple. This is called as compound key. Okay, see, now you go for this example. In this table we can see that a product can be ordered by more, so both are same. So you have customer route ID, and next this is the customer C1 and C1. So he orders P1, P1, order 1, order 1. So based on these two, order 1, I get P1. Based on order 2, I get P1. Okay, I hope you understand. So even though these two are non-primary attributes, based on particular attribute, you can return the particular tuple data. Okay, next. So you say that next is a composite case. Composite case are similar as same as compound key. Okay, student ID, subject ID. So composite key is a combination of two or more columns that uniquely identify rows. See, this is a row. Identify each record in the table. So the difference now you see, compound key you can retrieve one row. Composite keys you can retrieve more number of rows. Okay, you can retrieve more number of rows. That is the difference between a compound key and composite key. In compound key, if there are two or more non-primary attributes, based on these two attributes, you can retrieve the data. Okay, one tuple. But if you see the composite key means, if you take two or more non-primary key attributes, you can retrieve two or more rows in a table. Okay, I hope you understand. Combination of two or more columns that uniquely identify rows in a table. There we use a combination of two or more columns that uniquely identify row in a table. Okay, right. The combination of column guarantees uniqueness, though individually uniqueness is not guaranteed. Hence, they are combined to uniquely identify records in a table. Okay, and last one is a surrogate key. So this surrogate key is an artificial key. That is, you see, this is a table. This is a table. In that we have a F name, last name, start name, and end name. We have all these things. So among these, there is no primary key attribute in our relation. Okay. So it is a non-primary key attributes in a relation. But if you can, among all these attributes, you can take artificially, you can take one key attribute as primary key attribute, so that if any attribute that doesn't have a duplicate data in your relation, that attribute act as a surrogate key, so that based on the tuple, based on the unique key attribute or unique key property of particular attribute, even though that is not a primary key, you can retrieve the information from the attribute. Okay, see, an artificial key which aims to uniquely identify each record is called a surrogate key. This kind of partial key in DBMS is unique. So maximum in this type of relations are not available in real world, because if you construct any relation, means there should be a primary key. Okay, because it is created when you don't have any natural primary key. If there is no primary key in a relation, means then you can artificially, you have to create a surrogate key. They do not lend any meaning to the table in the table, because they all have the possibility of duplication, so that there should be any proper meaning of particular relation. Surrogate key is usually an integer. Maximum you have to take that as a integer. That is a one rule. If you want to take a surrogate key, that should be an integer, so that there should be a minimum property of retrieving the data. Okay, a surrogate key is a value generated right before the record is inserted into table. Okay, so example, see, in above example, shifting times of the different employee. This is the relation of shifting time of different employees. In this example, a surrogate key is needed to uniquely identify each employee. Surrogate key in SQL are allowed when no property has a parameter of the primary key. If there is no property of the primary key, automatically we have to take artificially as a primary key. In the table, when the primary key is too big or complicated, so maximum we take the starting time. So based upon starting time, you can retrieve the data. Okay, this is not a 100% information, but by the surrogate key, but it is the genuine information about the surrogate key, because in DBMS we won't use the surrogate keys. Okay, I hope you understand the concepts of various key constraints, keys, entities, database design. Next, additional features of ER model and database design of conceptual ER models. Next, relation types, there is attributes. All these two topics are remaining in your second unit. Okay, so this is the fifth video, fifth lecture for particular second unit. So if you move on to either 3 or 4 classes, we will complete the second unit. Okay, I hope what constraints are violating, all will be see when you complete our second unit. Okay, I hope you understand whatever your keys. Thank you so much.